number 230 from GMAT Official Guide Quant Review 2020. It's a absolute value problem. The difficulty level is easy to medium. If you like this video, please press like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me with YouTube and motivates me to keep creating these free videos for you. So let's get started. We are given y is not equal to 0, and this is something you would see a lot in GMAT, where if the y is in denominator, or if there is a remote possibility of 0 to the power of 0 or x divided by 0 or something of that sort, then GMAT would always specify upfront that the value cannot be 0. And it is good for us because then we don't fall into traps of not considering 0. So we are given that y is not equal to 0, and we are asked, is modulus of x equal to 1? Let's just understand what is given. We are given that y is not equal to 0, but we are not given anything about y. So y could be negative. It can be integers, non-integers. Y could be positive. It could be integers, non-integers as well. Let's talk about what is given about x. Nothing is given about x. So x could be negative, integers and non-integers, 0, and positive, integers and non-integers. Okay, so once we have done that, and I recommend you do that for every question where you see variables, because it orients your mind around what kind of values you have to consider. Let's start looking at the statements. So statement number 1 says x equal to y divided by modulus of y. Okay, so let's write it down. And the question is the modulus of x equal to 1? Now, let's take two possibilities, right? We said y could be negative or positive. It cannot be 0. So if y were greater than 0, then there is no point of putting modulus sign around y because it's already a positive quantity. So modulus of y would be y. In this case, y divided by modulus of y will be 1. So x will be 1. If y were less than 0, then since y is negative, negative of y will be positive, and modulus is always positive. So modulus of y, or absolute value of y, would be negative y. And in this case, x would be y divided by minus y equal minus 1. The question doesn't ask us the value of x. If it had asked us the value of x, we would have said, well, it is not clear because there are two different values. However, the question asks us, is modulus of x, is absolute value of x equal to 1? So let's find out the absolute value in both cases. Absolute value is 1. Here also the absolute value is 1. So even though we had two cases, we started with two cases, we are getting modulus of x as 1, a unique value for modulus of x. So this is sufficient to answer the question. So we know that A is a possibility. Let's look at statement number 2. We are given that modulus of x equal to minus x. We are actually given nothing about y, and all I know is modulus of x equals minus x. Okay, so now let's start considering some possibilities. And what does this mean? This modulus of x has to be either a positive quantity or a 0, which means this quantity on the right hand side has to be positive or 0. Minus x can be positive only when x were negative. So there are two possibilities here. X is either 0 or negative. I have already kind of answered the question here, haven't I? I have said 0 is a possible value of x, which means mod x could be 0. And I have said that it could be a negative value, which means x could be minus 1. So mod x could be 1 and could be 0. So we are getting many values of mod x. We are getting many values of absolute value of x. The question asks, is absolute value of x equals 1? It will be true if x were minus 1. However, for rest of the cases, it would be false. So we are getting not a unique answer. We are getting yes in some cases and no in some cases. So this is insufficient to answer the question. And hence the answer to this question is A, statement 1 only is sufficient to answer the question. Hope you understand it. If there are any lingering questions, please comment on the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much.